The next exercise that we're going to go over is called the full spinal floss exercise, or spinal floss number 1. Now, the reason why this exercise is so important is because it helps to create stimulation along the whole spinal column itself. Specifically, what does it stimulate? It stimulates the spinal cord itself through this rolling motion that we go over. It stimulates the postural muscles along the sides of the spine, and it stimulates the spinal nerves, which actually root out from the spinal column itself. The reason why the stimulation of the spinal cord is so important is because it begins to break up all the restrictions that we have within our spine, and it begins to allow the postural muscles to activate, to hold our adjustments a lot more. For spinal floss number 1, we're going to go ahead and start off in a plank position. Once we are in the plank position, we're going to go ahead and go into a downward dog position. Just like that. Once we're in the downward dog position, the next stage is tucking your head in and looking at your feet. Once you look at your feet, go ahead and we're going to begin the spinal flossing exercise of curling our spine, rolling it forward. So it's going to look like this. We're going to go back into the plank position, but keeping our neck flexed forward like this. And we're going to slowly unwind our spine, starting with the hips being pushed forward. And we're going to focus on our low back, lengthening it, going up to our mid back, curling our mid back, keeping our head flexed forward, looking at our feet, and making sure that our shoulders are being pushed outward like this. Try not to let your shoulders sink in like that, because then you lose the roll. Push your shoulders out and go back to the plank position and slowly roll out your neck and straighten it out, just like that. So you're going to go ahead and start again. Downward dog position, looking at your feet, tucking your head in, lengthening the low back, curling your upper back, making sure to push your shoulders outward, keeping that head tucked in, and then slowly, once again, to that plank position, rolling out your neck straight, just like that. After we do 4 spinal flosses, we're going to go ahead and go into a slight cobra position to stimulate the lower back. After we do 4 of the spinal flossings, we're going to go ahead and do a slight cobra, going down slowly, and then focusing on lengthening the stomach and creating curvature in your low back. Lengthening the upper body, the front portion of your body, and crunching and stimulating and squeezing the muscles of your low back. Once you feel like there's resistance in your belly, you're going to stop there and take 3 to 4 deep breaths, pushing up against that tension that you feel in your belly. After 3 to 4 breaths, you can feel free to stretch back even more, or you can go back into the plank position and continue to do 3 to 4 spinal rolls. That is how spinal flossing number 1 goes. You do the 4 rolls of the whole spinal stimulation. After that, you go down, do the slight cobra, squeeze the back muscles, even squeeze the glute muscles as well to help support the low back. Lengthen the belly, feel the tension, breathe into that tension, go back into a plank position and continue doing the rolls. You do about 4 sets of these, and that's going to really help out to create that whole spinal stimulation, which we're looking for to make sure that we have good spinal hygiene and health, and we begin to break up all those restrictions which have been within your spine for all these years.